program is a partnership of the Footlocker Foundation and the Local Initiative Support Corporation, focused on a multi-city initiative to support community and youth empowerment in under-resourced communities where Footlocker teams live, grow, and work. The program aims to bridge gaps in health, wealth, and opportunity, especially those driven by racial inequality. The program offers 2 levels of funding: grants that will support current youth programming, create new programming, or extend existing programming. These grants will range from $25,000 to $75,000 over 1 year. Our second level of funding is grants to support capital improvement projects that enhance the impact of youth programming. Funding will range from $25,000 to $100,000 over 1 year. The proposed outcomes are to build on Footlocker and LISC's shared goals to inspire and empower youth, and will be focused on the 13 metropolitan areas where Footlocker and LISC have a significant presence. Selection will prioritize nonprofit organizations serving youth of color, as well as those that are led by people of color. Organization eligibility criteria. So to qualify for funding, organizations must be a community-based organization serving a neighborhood consisting primarily of low to moderate income families and individuals, have at least 1 full-time staff person. So all volunteer organizations will not be considered for this, for grants. Be in existence for at least 3 years, have a proven track record in youth programming, operations, or facilities management, have a 501c3 tax-exempt status, and must be located in one of the project target markets. Target markets. Only organizations serving communities in low to moderate income areas within the following target markets are eligible to apply and will be considered for funding. That consists of Atlanta, Georgia, Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Detroit, Michigan, Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, California, New York City, New York, New Jersey, Oakland, California, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, San Francisco, California, and Washington, D.C.
And I'll take it over from here. And hello, everybody. My name is Onedo Luis, and I am a program officer with the LISC Sports and Recreation team. So selection criteria. We will prioritize organizations that have demonstrated track record of success in one or more of these pillars. The first being community outreach, programs designed to engage youth and provide them with health and wellness opportunities, including safety, play equity, equality, empowerment of youth, and expanding economic opportunity. Our second pillar is mentoring, and we define this as programs designed to help youth with conflict resolution, life skills, academics, and community building. Goals may include building positive, nonviolent, and constructive relationships, increasing the ability to accept and respect diversity of opinions and values in the community, and building trust. Our third pillar is career development / employability. These are programs that develop skills and pathways to quality jobs. Goals may include increasing social and work skills, access to internships and training. And we define play equity as the idea that all youth, regardless of race, gender, zip code, or income, should benefit from the transformational power of sports and play. Some other selection criteria is the feasibility of the proposed project. So this would include a project budget. Your proposals must include a project budget that's based on realistic costs. Project readiness, sources of funding for the entire budget should be identified. Plans should consider, the schedule of activities over the course of the year. A project timeline should be specified in the application. Another criteria is impact upon neighborhood and support from the community. Applications must demonstrate that the project is located in a low to moderate income community and must describe how the grant would benefit youth and the larger community. Applications must clearly detail how many youth and adults benefit from the current programming, activity, facility, and the project, any anticipated increases as a result of the Footlocker grant. Program sustainability. Applications must demonstrate commitments of funding for programming and facility sustainability for a minimum of 3 years. And then finally, capacity of the organization and its partners to carry out the project, including ability to collaborate with Footlocker on employee engagement opportunities. The applicant organization must demonstrate through its current management team and previous experience the ability to manage a project of this nature. And so just want to speak also to Footlocker employee engagement. Grantees will work directly with Footlocker to provide employee engagement opportunities for Footlocker staff that align with the goals of this grant program. Opportunities should comply with both organizations' legal, professional, public health, and youth-related protocols. For example, interactions with youth, may require a background check. Examples of employee engagement include, but are not limited to, Footlocker employee participation in non-technical tasks like mural painting, community or facility cleanup, packing, and facilitating giveaway items such as backpacks or school supplies. Footlocker employee collaboration on holiday-related initiatives, such as food collection or donation or other giveaways, coats, shoes, Christmas trees, gifts, other resources. Footlocker employee facilitation of training sessions, mentoring, or career coaching. For example, Sneaker Career Day, or a program series with speakers from across job functions like store, district manager, sneaker designer, graphic artist, marketer, merchandiser, IT, finance, and human resources. Footlocker hosted events or in-store learning at Footlocker community store spaces. And so we will be sharing this presentation out, and you'll kind of notice right here that there's a link that will take you directly to the application. And just gonna walk y'all through just some of the requirements that you can kind of have before as you're kind of putting this together. So the required documents that should be included in your online application are a cover sheet, 1 page, with your organization's name, address, web address, email, telephone number, contact information for your executive director or the contact person for this application, a brief description of the proposed project and the amount of funding requested. Some organizational attachments that you must include are your IRS 501c3 determination letter, your 2 most recent audited financial statements, preferably from 2021 or 2022 and 2022, your most recent 990 forms, preferably from 2022, your current list of organizations' board of directors, including their contact information, your IRS W-9 form, and if you are, if you do have a fiscal agent, an MOU with your fiscal agent. And then, so project attachments, we kind of talked about this briefly, but it's outlined here. A project budget for programming or facility improvements, a financial commitment letter with detailed plans from organizations responsible for the program sustainability, agreements and budgets for the youth programming that will be taking place, and letters of support and joint use agreements with other community organizations.
Attached, you'll see the LISC Sports and Recreation Department contact information. You'll see our Vice President listed there, Beverly Smith, Senior Program Officer, Crystal Hunter. I am Keon Furnace, Program Officer, Onedo Lewis, Program Officer, and Mark Conyers, our Administrative Coordinator. Now, at this time, I'd like to circle back around to a few of the questions that were posted. Yes, Ms. Reader asked, will the presentation and recording be sent out and posted on the website following the webinar? The answer is yes, both will be made available. The presentation will be sent by email, and the recording will be posted on the website. We have a question from an anonymous attendee. Do suburban areas around these cities count?
Hi, this is Beverly Smith, and I'm Vice President for LISC Sports and Recreation, and thank you and welcome everyone. In answer to the question, we would consider areas within 20 miles of the actual target market area.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I think we answered a few of those. Do organizations have to fall within the city proper? Okay, we just answered that. Would a college in Jersey City count as serving one of the target markets? Or does the organization need to be specifically located in one of those areas and or have an address that has the target area in the address?
As we said, within the target markets, we are looking at, we will consider organizations within 20 miles of the actual target market area listed.
Okay. Let me go to Sonia Dabney, who has her hand raised. Sonia, you can ask a question.
Is she muted?
Uh,
Looks as though she's muted.
Ask her to unmute. Sonia,
Trying to put a question in the chat. But I did put the question in chat also. But I wanted to clarify that when I'm asking about all three pillars of the grant, can one organization apply for three? Because this is a mentoring for young Black males program. And obviously, and they've just purchased a new, and the building needs repair. So obviously there is monies that we like to request for the building and rehab and restructuring plans within the building, as well as programming dollars and activities and such. So is it possible, and it has been in existence for over 10 years, actually about 15 to 20 years. So now it has expanded and we need to know how much of the dollars can we apply for? Do we have to do that separately if we were applying for more than one pillar?
What I would say is that we would consider one grant, so that I would think that you would need to, your organization would consider what is the most urgent need. Is it for the physical facility, the capital improvement, or the programming? Because I'm almost sure likely, because we get so many applications, we're not going to be able to fund both. And you can receive up to $100,000 for either, whether it's the programming or the actual facility, but it would be one or the other. And so you would really need to think about what is the most urgent need.
Okay. And obviously, when you said all certain documents are required is required, audited, the year, whatever, that's what's required, no exception.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Joe Caniglia I'm going to allow him to ask his question. Joe, you can speak whenever you're ready. You're on mute. Or if you can, just type it in the question. In the question and answer portion of it. Let me go back and get a few Q&A questions. What if we do not have financial statements for 2 years? We're a newly established organization as a nonprofit, but have been operating since 2019. Should we use a fiduciary?
You may want to do that, and you should have a memorandum of understanding if you're using a fiscal conduit, and provide their documents to us, and along with how they will be managing the grant with you. So an MOU would be helpful with that, would be needed.
Okay. Mr. Caniglia, are you ready now to speak?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I was wondering, I'm the executive director of a community college. Is this grant mainly geared towards young youth, or is our community colleges allowed to be part of it?
We typically do not fund colleges and universities. But I think that if you are making your site available to other groups within the community surrounding the college that are doing programming, we could look at it and consider it, but typically we do not fund universities.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And the same question, but pertaining to public charter schools was asked to, do schools qualify for this opportunity?
They would just have to demonstrate the youth programming beyond the school, the regular school day. Is there additional programming that they're providing to youth in the community, the larger community, not just to the students? We would want to see that.
Are organizational partnerships encouraged and or prioritized?
Organizational partnerships, such as, if they could clarify that a little bit.
Um, Heather Andrews.
Good morning, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. My name is Heather. I'm with Advancing the Seed. And we serve young adults ages 18 to 30. Would we still be able to qualify for funding?
I think that our age range for the program is, I think it's ages 6 through 24.
Okay.
We're more focused on youth within that age range.
Okay. If we were able to demonstrate that the program would capture 18 to 24-year-olds, but if 24 to 30-year-olds are still receiving services from that program, would we still qualify, or does it have to be exclusive to your age range?
I think we would like it to be exclusive to our age range. We are really trying to accommodate younger youth programs that are providing services.
Okay. And then the last question I wanted to ask is, can you give an example of a grant that really stood out to you, and what made them stand out in terms of the grant application?
We've received over 1,000 applications in our last round, so there were a lot that stood out to us. But the funding was limited, so we could not fund everything. But I think those that, focus, as I said, on younger youth, that provide mentoring, that provide the 3 pillars, services within the 3 pillars, and are engaging, civic engagement, community involvement. Those are the ones that stand out the strongest to us.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And any questions we don't get a hold of via our time limit and time constraints, we will look at the Q&A section and compose a Q&A frequently asked questions and try to answer those questions in that format as well. I see I got some hands raised. Let's see, I have one about, would it be preferable for an organization to apply for all of the funding for a smaller project, example, a weight room makeover, or part of the funding for a bigger project, example, new field house with commitment from other funders?
Think that you would have to decide what your priority is and what your need is for funding, and determine that when you submit your application. And certainly if you're doing a capital improvement, because our grants only go up to $100,000, if your project is costing, your rehabilitation project is costing more than $100,000, it would certainly help your application to score higher if you had additional funding to cover the entire cost. Because at the end of the day, we're going to want to see that the project is actually completed.
I'm gonna let Hal Martinson ask your question.
I have two questions, so do cut me off if I am taking up too much space. My first is that I saw in your guidelines that you don't allow grant funds to be used for overhead. And then I saw that you define salaries as overhead. Does this apply to the salaries of the employees that are delivering services to low-income youth? Which, as you can imagine, is the vast majority of our budget.
Yes, and what we do allow, though, is if you are facilitating a youth program and the youth are given stipends, we will allow that, stipends to youth.
Okay.
But your organizational overhead, no, we will not cover that.
Okay. And then my other question is that I represent an organization called Playworks. We leverage play to develop social and emotional skills in young people ages, in K through 5th grade. And we have services in Philadelphia, New York City, and Detroit. I was wondering if Footlocker and LISC would have a preference for us to apply for a single region or for all of them.
All of those regions are within our target markets. If I'm correct, I don't have it in front of me, but I think Philadelphia is one of our target areas, and as is Detroit and New York City. I think you would, if you want to apply for each geographic area, you should submit separate applications for each area, and then we will consider that.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Okay. Next, Natalie Rutledge.
Good afternoon. Oh gosh. I am Natalie Rutledge with Communities and Schools in the Atlanta area and Marietta Cobb. We serve Metro Atlanta and are within that 20-mile area of Atlanta proper where we serve. My question is about the number of grants or amount of funds that you are awarding, and if you have opportunities for volunteering with the staff at Footlockers and within your organization. Is that something that appeals to you more often?
So let me just answer the first part of your question. Can you just repeat the first part?
Yes, ma'am. How many grants will you be awarding, or what is the dollar amount of how much you're expected to award?
Grants range from 25,000 to 100,000. We don't know how many we will be giving out at this point. It will depend on what we receive in. And then on the engaging, as I said, if awarded a grant, the employee engagement, you will be contacted directly by Footlocker for any engagement opportunities with Footlocker.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Bev, I'm seeing a question that multiple people are asking in the chat that I think would be actually good to answer. But a lot of folks are asking about mixed capital and program requests. And I was hoping you could answer that. Are groups allowed to, for example, put an application forward where they ask for some capital and some program requests, program
As long
support?
as it does not exceed the $100,000 limit, yes.
Tom Arvitas.
Hey there. Thanks for I was gonna say taking my call. I listened to apparently a lot of AM radio. My question is, does the grant require anything from us to reach out to a local Foot Locker location to get to demonstrate a partnership at the time of application?
The you were a little bit muffled, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question. Can you repeat that?
I'm wondering if there's so I represent an agency in Chicago, and I'm wondering if there's anything required of us to reach out to a local Foot Locker location to demonstrate partnership at the time of application.
No, I think that if you are selected for an award, you will get you will be contacted locally. Your information, your contact information and everything, if awarded, will be given to Foot Locker, and they will disseminate it to their local entities on the ground in your area, and they will connect with you.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Samantha Peterkin, the rest of your name. Oh, Burkett. Okay. Burkett. It was abbreviated at first.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi guys. I'm not as advanced as the folks here. I'm a little intimidated and overwhelmed. I am a school social worker, and I do a lot of outreach. And sitting in my kitchen table one day, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a not-for-profit. So I started it, but I've been paying a lot of the causes that I sponsor. It's out of pocket because I'm not a grant writer. And I'm just looking for guidance, and I'm listening to the prerequisites to apply for the grant. I haven't been in operation for 3 years, although I've been doing social work for a long time and doing a lot of charitable endeavors just because there's a need. I currently have a charity called Gift-A-Ton, named after my late father, whose name was Gifton Peterkin. So basically, donors choose a verified cause. Currently, I'm sponsoring a informal soccer team. So I've just been running around to like Foot Locker, Burlington, and getting discounted, jerseys, soccer cleats. And I want to grow the sports program. I don't know where to start. I literally do this when I leave work, go home. I try to solicit donations. And I just want some assistance and some help. I'm almost feeling stupid that I started this because everyone else sounds so advanced. And would there be a grant for someone like me who is currently doing great things and would like to take it to the next level because there's so many underserved youths? I am in New York. I also do international outreach. I am from Jamaica. I've want to help kids in Ghana next year as well. But this upcoming September, I'm going to try to, I live near Mount Vernon, which is an underserved, marginalized community. And I want to do an outreach there. There's a lot of, Denzel Washington, I think, does something there. But there's still, not every child gets to qualify for some of the initiatives. So I know I'm all over the place, but would there be another grant for somebody like myself who is just starting out and has proof that they are doing a lot of good deeds in the community?
think that what you can do is reach out to us separately. And if there are other organizations that we can connect you with, particularly some of our prior grantees and who are doing the work that, we may be able to connect you with that can guide you through that process.
All right. Just a couple more that I asked for permission to talk. Sarah Clark.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, my colleague actually asked a similar question to what I wanted to ask, which is we have markets in 3 places in California, Oakland, San Francisco, and Los Angeles, and we're a national 501c3, so it's just a single 501c3 with markets across the country. And my understanding is it's fine to apply 3 different times for the 3 California markets. Is that accurate?
Yes. And
Great.
just specify, make sure you're specific with the programming and what the funding would be used for and the geographic area.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay. Lauren Calderera.
Hi there. I am just checking in to see if there is a definition about full overhead costs online.
A definition of the overhead costs. We would not be paying staff salaries. Basically, the expenses that would be considered in the budget that you submit in your application would be those that are specifically related to the actual program or the pillars of the program that you're conducting. And as we said, stipends to youth, if you're paying stipends to youth, that can be covered as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Emily Minch.
Oh, hello. I was just asking about you answered my question in the chat, but about the extra documents needed for the project support administrative documents. And there were some items related to, it looked like ensuring that your program would be sustained or supported by other funders. So I just wanted to see for those items, award letters from other funders funding the program, would those be sufficient? Oh, sorry, you went out for a second.
Yes, that would be sufficient.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Miguel Mendez.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just have one question. The question is, are we able to apply for this grant as 2 organizations together in Chicago?
When you say apply as 2 organizations together, what do you mean?
So I'm the executive director of We Strive for Change. I just launched. We do therapeutic outdoors, one-on-one mentoring, like kayaking and rock climbing and stuff like that. And I have another organization called Chicago Adventure Therapy. We were actually looking at this grant together, and we were actually hoping to apply for this grant together. Would that be possible? Like us collabing together to make this grant happen?
Yes, you just would probably need to submit a memorandum of understanding of what the roles is, who is going to be actually fiscally managing the grant and overseeing the collaboration together, which one of these entities.
Okay, definitely sounds good. And just to make sure, I came in here a little bit late, and I did see like a bunch of stuff. I just want to make clear, is there like a page that we can see for like the stuff for the overhead stuff that you guys are not going to be paying for? Like, I know that the staff salary was one. I'm not sure if I missed the other one.
You will see those in the application, and also, this presentation will be sent out to all of the participants on the call that will tell you what the threshold requirements of the program are.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Mhm.
All right, we have Tiffany Brown.
Thank you. My question is, my nonprofit is small. I'm our only full-time employee, but I'm paid as a contractor. So am I eligible to apply? The question was really around how you all verify full-time employment. I also have a few part-time staff that are paid also as contractors.
So I would just submit that with your application, and we will review it and see if we can consider it. We just want you to be clear, and everyone to be clear, that salaries are not going to be funded. That's not what the program is about. The funding is to be applied directly to the youth programming. And as I said, the only thing that we would be looking at and considering is if you are actually paying stipends to the youth that participate in your program.
Oh, yes, I understand. My question, and I understood I wouldn't be applying for dollars to pay myself, but just wanted to make sure that I was eligible because one of the guidelines was that we had to have at least one full-time employee.
Right.
And so just wanted to make sure that the verification as me as a contractor paid full-time would be okay for me to apply.
Yes, and if you can just outline that in your application so that we can review that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right, Michael Freeman.
Yes, I see that my question didn't get answered. I put a question in the Q&A. Question is, can an independent financial review be a sufficient substitute for an audited statement?
Yeah, we can look at that, yes.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you. That's all I need.
All right. Nina Dang.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. So my question is, so we provide workforce development training, and we partner with community colleges so we do the life skills training at in our organization, and then we partner with community colleges to do occupational skills training. When you say program salaries, I understand that like all the staff, Strive staff wouldn't, we couldn't include that, but what about the salaries of the teachers that are providing the education? So with our partnerships at the community college, would that be covered?
We said we would approve any organization that is providing actual stipends to the youth participants in the program.
So that would be covered. That's because that's considered the services that we're providing to the youth. The actual skills and educational training.
If you can explain the program again, just so I can understand.
So let's say it's a forklift training. They're going to receive the certification and the training to be able to operate the forklift, but there has to be an instructor to teach them. Would that be considered staff salaries? And this is something that we partner out. We partner with educational institutions to provide the training.
Right. So we would not be considering the instructors, but the students that are participating in the training, that are taking the training, we would consider stipends to them.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We have Cherie Hammond.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, I am with the YMCA of Newark. However, the programs that I run are actually 55 miles from our downtown location, because I run the summer sleepaway camp and outdoor education and retreat center. May we apply for funding for projects that are based at the camp physically and are serving youth from Newark and surrounding communities?
I think that would be fine. You just need to really elaborate on that in, in your application.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Jermaine Neblett.
Much. Jermaine Neblett here. I am representing Texas Network of Youth Services, and so we are a statewide member organization here in Texas, and we work with youth and young adults across the state, whether to lift youth voice, their systems involvement, housing and homelessness, juvenile justice, CSA, higher education, workforce, et cetera. But we also work with opportunity youth who've been disconnected from work or school. And so my question is, would we need to submit 2 applications if we were possibly interested in doing something here locally in Houston and in Dallas? And so those are the 2 Texas communities represented, or would 1 application for 2 programs and 1 in each location be sufficient?
I would really like to see, because I'm sure that the programs are going to be a little bit different in each location. So we would like to see that. I would say apply for both separate locations.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Dante Elliott.
Hi, yes, thank you. I have a question. My question is around the various types of programming. So more specifically, are nonprofit organizations that infuse technology and are therefore tech-enabled organizations eligible to apply? This may look like our nonprofit uses technology to facilitate mentoring connections for young people who are systems involved in the Chicago area, as well as we use technology via our platform to provide young people access to post-secondary readiness modules.
So when you say technology, are you facilitating from a technology center that the youth are involved or coming to get the technology?
No, so we are an EdTech nonprofit. So similarly to how you log on to any social media site to access a community, our young people, that's how our young people access our programming. However, we partner with high schools and independent foster serving organizations to access students.
I'm not sure that that would necessarily score higher, just because we really are focused on those organizations that are actually physically interacting with the youth and all of that, and because of the employee engagement piece of it. But certainly we would be happy to look at it if you wanted to apply, but I cannot guarantee that that would be, something that we would necessarily see as a priority. I think those groups, and because we're limited in the number of grants that we can give out, those groups that are actually interacting in neighborhoods with youth are the ones that will be considered high priority for funding.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gwen Ober.
Hi, I work for New 42, a theater here in New York City. We have a program, the Usher Corps, which I think this would be a good fit for. I just had a few questions. First of all, in order to build relationships with the youth that we serve, we tend to keep our cohort at around 70 youth. And I just wanted to see if there was a particular goal as to how many youth you'd like to serve in a year.
Not necessarily, but the more the better.
Okay.
Certainly we want to make, more of an impact. Yes.
Thank you. I also just had another question. Are there guidelines or upper limits on the size of an organization's budget? Is there basically any budget too large to apply for funding?
I'm thinking we would like to see, a budget of minimally $500,000 or more, because what we're looking at with that is the sustainability of the program going forward, beyond the funding that you would receive from the Footlocker Empowerment Program. Yeah, we would be reviewing the budgets to see, you know, how much of sustainability is built into your budget going forward beyond the grant.
Okay. Thank you so much for your answers. That clears up a lot.
Thanks.
Okay, I want to go to the chat Q&A to see if we have anybody's question that we need to read. We just have about a few minutes left, about 10 minutes left. This question is from an anonymous attendee. My org provides no-cost mental health services for youth. Are we a good candidate for a successful proposal?
It depends on what you're applying, you know, what specific programming that you're applying for the youth. We would have to review that, and you would have to lay that out in your application. What are the specific services that you are providing? And what would the budget, you know, what would the funding be specifically used for?
There's another question. What is the timetable with letting people know if their grant was selected?
We will have about a 6-week review period of reviewing all proposals, and then we will submit our recommendations to Footlocker, and upon their review. So I would say minimally 60 days. Any other questions, Keon?
Kind of doing a little skim to see if there's anything that we haven't already covered. I think at this point we have covered a lot of people's questions. A lot of people ask similar questions, so I think we've done an adequate.
Okay, so just to reiterate, we will be going through all of the questions in the chat. We will include the extra questions and answers in slides attached to the presentation that will be sent to everyone, and the recording will be posted. And so you will all get a copy of it. And if you have additional questions, please reach out to our team, and we will, through our email at sportsandrec@lisc.org, and we will certainly reach out to you. We want to thank you all for participating today, and we look forward to your applications. And please, as I said, reach out to us if you have any questions at all. Thank you all, and thank you for all of the work that you do in communities.
Hey, Keon, I'm just saying.